Hello everyone, Hello everyone, it's Patri. I hope you're doing well today. In this video, we're going to talk about a book that I've been wanting to read for so long and I finally read. I did not read it physically. I listened to it because that's just how it went about happening, I guess. And I am thankful I listened to it. I'll get to that later, but if you can't tell already by my light academia, I don't want to say dark because it's not really dark, light academia attire, I read The Secret History. It's literally been on my TBR for so long, so long. I think I talked about reading it last fall and it's been a year. So now finally read it in August, and I will say, how do I want to start talking about this? Okay, it's a hefty book. It's about 559 pages and the words are like small, so it's a way longer book than I thought it was going to be, even though I've owned this for like a year now. But it's longer than I initially had thought, and I just didn't have the time to really sit down and read another long book because I've started like reading. I'm currently reading 5 physical books, all different genres, all for different reasons, so I just couldn't add it. The audiobook was 22 hours long and took me a couple days to listen to it. I was listening to it at 1.8 speed, and that's my little spiel about the listening bleh, I guess. I'm a mess. I'm sorry. I'm a mess. Anyways, I'm very grateful I listened to it because I will say right off the bat, I don't think I would have finished it, or actually, like, I think I would have DNF'd it if I had been reading it. That's just what I've got to say about it, you know? Okay, so let's go into like the review portion because I feel like I'm giving away my actual review. Let's look at my questions here. First question, what happened in the book? Let's read the synopsis so that I know what I can and can't give away, so that I'm not spoiling it for y'all if y'all haven't read it, because honestly at this point everyone's read it. Like, I'm late. Okay, under the influence of their charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at an elite New England college discover a way of thinking and living that is a world away from the humdrum existence of their contemporaries. But when they go beyond the boundaries of normal morality, they slip gradually from obsession to corruption and betrayal, and at last inexorably into evil. And you know, I've just decided I will spoil things. So, if you haven't read it, I might spoil some stuff. But I think if you want to read it, you should still do it because at the end of the day, it's like a classic. Let's break down the synopsis. Under the influence of their charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at an elite New England college discover a way of thinking and living that is a world away from the humdrum existence of their contemporaries. I feel like the book doesn't really do that. We look at one lecture from the professor and that's about it. We glimpse at their new way of thinking, but it's being told, like, we're really, like, one of the main characters is retelling the experience, so we don't actually see them discover this new way of thinking, and I don't think we see that applied. We see them mess up after a night. They end up murdering someone. Sorry if you didn't know that. They end up murdering someone because they're doing a ritual to one of the Greek gods. I'm forgetting. Morpheus? I don't know. I'm forgetting the name. It's really not that. Whatever. But this whole discovering a new way of thinking, we don't actually get to see that. We're told by one of the characters that happens, and then we kind of like glance over it and never go back to that. And I feel like that's where the book should have focused more. Show me these teens going crazy and doing crazy stuff. Don't just tell me they did it, you know? Yeah, and like, I really don't think they were influenced by that, by their professor so much. They say they were, but we only see one lesson. So I'm not seeing, it almost seems like, to me, it seems like the teens took away what they shouldn't have taken away from the lesson and like mixed it up in their own heads and just did their own thing. It's also implied that they're all very close to the professor, but again, we're not seeing this. I feel like the book could have had so much potential in kind of delving into that professor relationship with the students, because it's a very exclusive class. You have to go through a lot of steps to get into it, and you have to drop all your other classes, and you can only be taught by that professor. And I feel like the book didn't talk about that much, because that's really weird, you know? Talk about it. Obviously, I feel like what's the name? I'm forgetting. The Maidens, I think that's the name. The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. It's obviously very inspired by The Secret History. I read The Maidens first, but I feel like The Maidens kind of did a better job at exploring the professor's relationships with the student, where it's like a very similar scenario where like you have to only be taught by that professor, only a few people can get in the class, blah, 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 blah. I wish we could have gone into that more. Second sentence of the synopsis, but when they go beyond the boundaries of normal morality, they slip gradually from obsession to corruption and betrayal, and at last inexorably into evil. Into evil. I also just don't think that happens. I don't see their obsession. I see their corruption, and yeah, I see a betrayal, but they're not really as affected by the betrayal. So I feel like, I don't know, I just wish we had been able to see more. To me, it was just kind of, it focused a lot more on the atmosphere of the book rather than the actual plot that was supposed to drive the book, if that makes sense. I don't see them obsessing over this. Again, we're told they're obsessed, but when we're actually seeing the interactions with the main character, we don't see that. And I don't think any of them are purely evil, besides maybe one of them that could have had like evilness in him, but he kind of redeemed himself. But it was just weird because it was like, I don't know. I wish he would have turned out more evil. That would have been, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. You know, sometimes I think, Patricia, before you sit down to review a book, gather your thoughts. But like I can't. So we're just gonna keep rolling with it. I'm just gonna keep saying random stuff that pops into my head. Oh, what was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh, atmosphere. I started talking about that. Yes. Okay. So my rating on Goodreads, I'm just gonna give away the rating now. I rated it 2 stars, and my comment was, it was cozy to listen to. Definitely puts me in a fall mood. Would have probably struggled to finish it if I had read it physically. Oh well. So this rating is mostly based off the vibes I felt while listening. That is something the book did a good job at. I don't know if I would have felt the same if I had been listening to it, but I liked the narrator for the main character's voice. I didn't like the narrator for Bunny's voice, but for the main character's voice, and the overall atmosphere of the book did get me feeling like, ooh, it's cozy. And it's really hot in Texas. It's August, peak of summer, really hot. So this kind of helped me look forward to fall. So I will give it like, not a 10 out of 10 on that, like a 6 out of 10, because it still is not that, this is just what I feel with this book. It's like, it's all right. Like, I don't think it merits the obsession that people feel for it sometimes. I understand there's a cult following to it, and I understand it was kind of the first to initiate the dark academia vibes, you know, that everyone tries to mimic now. So I give it credit for that. I just think it could have been executed better. Anyways. Did it have a compelling plot? It started to. It originally started to, but it kind of really fell off. I feel like the first part was way more interesting than the second part, and then the ending, it kind of ended exactly how I thought it was going to end, where they all drift apart and you're kind of just following their lives. Yeah. I'm just rambling. I'm rambling. Okay. Did you like or dislike any characters that I care? I honestly didn't like any of the characters. I think the characters I liked the most were the siblings, and then I hated them. There's really gross, okay, I'm just gonna say a trigger warning, like incestual stuff, and I didn't like that at all. So those are the only two characters I kind of liked, and I ended up not liking them. The main character was so bland to me, and he kind of has this attitude that he can get any girl he wants, and he's so cool and all this. Like, he literally will be like, I knew she wanted to kiss me, stuff like that. And I was just like, dude, come on, you're a weirdo. You're all weirdos. That's so mean, but it's true. The writing was very good, obviously. So I didn't care for any of them. No, I didn't really care. I didn't like them. I was gonna lie, but I didn't. Sucked in, or was it hard to get into? I've kind of talked about that. I was pretty sucked into it because of the audiobook experience, but usually with audiobooks, if I really like the book, I don't want to miss anything, and I'm like intensely listening to it. With this one, if I missed 2 or 3 minutes, I did not care. I didn't feel the need to go back because it was kind of just indifferent. Like, it didn't add anything to the story if I missed a couple minutes of listening, which is not a good sign to a book, isn't it? But the writing itself is very, very good. It is very, very good. I definitely want to read more Donna Tartt. I like her writing style, and even though it can maybe spend too much time on descriptions, it's, like I said, it adds to the atmosphere, and it is good to have cozy descriptions, I guess. How did it make me feel? Was it believable? I don't think it was believable. I am in college, and yeah, I'm not an English major, but I just don't feel like it's very in touch with the actual college experience, which can be a charm. I did like that, you know. I don't think it was believable, but that's kind of what I liked about it. It is the dream school we all would have wanted to go to in the East Coast. I feel like it was a little unrealistic, so not very believable, and they just did not act like college students. But I kind of like that. I know my boyfriend, we listened to it together. I know my boyfriend disliked that more than I did. I was kind of like, well, that's kind of the point of the book, you know, like you get to fantasize about the super academic, cozy life, I guess. It did make me feel kind of frustrated though. I just wanted more to happen. I feel like I'm repeating myself. I should not have sat down to do this. Okay, do I recommend it? I do recommend it if you've been wanting to read it, and there is like, I could totally see which type of people would like this, and like, I think younger me would have liked it too. I do recommend it. You know, it's a classic, and I gave it a shot. I wanted to read it. It's nice to say we read The Secret History, and you can see how it has influenced so many other books. Like I just said, The Maidens, totally influenced by this with more of a psychological twist. But I like that. You know, I like being able to see the roots of other books, if that makes sense. So yeah, I do recommend it to an extent. You know, I don't recommend it if you're expecting to be blown away, and if you're expecting to have, I don't know, just like a new way of looking at the world through like the dark academia lens. I don't think it will do that for you. It's more of just like a cultural read, like, you know, like pop culture, not pop culture. Is it pop culture? Cultural, let's just say cultural read. It's more of like a cultural read and getting some, what's it called? Background onto why dark academia is so popular now. So that's really all I have to say. Because I feel like if I talk about it more, I'm just giving away too much of it, and there's so very little that happens in the book that I don't want to give it all away. Let's move on to the next part of this video, which I didn't even talk about, but the main reason I really wanted to sit down and film this video and make it a thing is because I have officially read the first book in my Women of Letters poster. This is a scratch-off poster that I got on my birthday, January 6th, from my boyfriend. And it has The Secret History. I've read some other books that are on here, but I want to reread them because it's been so long. So I'm officially getting to scratch off the first one. And let's just admire that real quick. If there are any books from the poster that you would like me to read in the future, comment down below, because I don't really know which one else to pick up. I might pick up a Jane Austen one or one of the Bronte sisters, because I definitely have those books. But yeah, if there's any in particular you would like to see, just let me know. Let's scratch it off, shall we? Alright, we did it. It's done. It's scratched off. Kind of took a little longer than I expected. I definitely had to use 3 different things to figure out what worked best. Very fitting. I guess the knife worked the best. And yeah, that's my first Woman of Letters scratch off. I'm so excited. If you didn't know, these are all classics, like written by women, so we love that. Yeah, look at her. That's Donna Tartt. Donna Tartt right there. Yep. Yep, it is. Yeah, I don't really have much more to add. I probably should, but I'm not a good booktuber. So it doesn't matter. I just wanted to talk about it and I read it. You know, that's all we need. Oh, I should probably hold up the book. I read it. That's all we really need. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if there's any of these that you would like me to read. Let me know your thoughts on The Secret History if you've read it. Yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Goodbye.